All right, guys. So Tucker Carlson went on Russell Brand's show, and somebody clipped out this moment here. This is interesting. So there's been like a little bit of a feud sort of bubbling up beneath the surface between Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro. Tucker recently said in an interview with Sagar and Jetty that like, oh, Ben doesn't care about America. And like Ben fired back. Well, now there's another like kind of side comment made here by Tucker in the midst of this interview that I wanted to share with you, and then we'll react.
I've got 4 draft age children. So if you're playing recklessly, fast and loose with their lives, then I have a right to despise you. And I do. So if you're Nikki Haley, who's running for president, or Ben Shapiro, or half the people I see on television casually mentioning the possibility of nuclear war or sending Americans to fight in the Middle East, or in any way involving us in a war that has nothing to do with prosperity and peace at home, nothing, in other words, to do with us, Americans, then I have a right to call you out and be really offended because it's my family. They live here. It's not a joke to me. There's nothing abstract about it. I've got 4 draft age children.
So if you didn't catch it, he said he despises Ben Shapiro. Why? Because he pushes to get us into wars that, in his mind, he says, one of these things could lead to a draft, and I have kids that are draft age, and so I despise you if you're pushing for those sorts of policies. What's my take on this one? Definitely with Tucker over Ben Shapiro. Definitely. Because it's true. The neocons are incredibly willy-nilly, blasé, nonchalant about starting wars. Now, look, there's an ironic part to what Tucker's saying here, which I have to point out, right? Which is like, he supports Trump. He acts like Trump is some sort of fucking dove. Nothing could be further from the truth. The guy kept us in Afghanistan, despite what he said, kept us in Iraq, kept us in Syria, and bragged that we're there to, quote, take the oil. He tried to coup Venezuela. He increased the drone war by 432%. Now he's talking about how we need to do a hot war with Mexico, right? So he assassinated General Soleimani, top Iranian commander in the field who was fighting ISIS, right? Almost sparking a wider war. If it was Ben Shapiro calling for the assassination of Soleimani and it wasn't Trump in office, he'd be like, how dare you? You're going to get us in World War III. But Trump actually does it, and you think Trump is some sort of dove as opposed to other Republican hawks? Look, it's just not true, right? I wish it was true. I wish Trump was more of a dove. I don't see that. I've never seen that. I've never understood this. He's anti-war. Based on what? He had Gina Haspel in his administration, a torturer from the Bush administration, a top neocon. John Bolton in his administration, same thing. The neocon's neocon. This is not a debate. This is not open to different interpretation. Trump is a hawk. Trump is a hawk. So that I don't understand, right? He supports Trump, who's hawkish, but he goes after Ben Shapiro for being hawkish. Okay. Well, look, I'll say he is right about Ben, though. Like, Ben is horrible. Ben has never been a war he didn't like. He's made that very clear. He was one of the biggest cheerleaders of the Iraq war. And he was writing stuff at the time like, I don't care about collateral damage. What? So you don't care if we massacre civilians? Well, then how can you turn it? We're the good guys doing the good things. No, if you don't care about killing civilians, you know who else has that opinion? Al-Qaeda. Terrorists have that opinion. You are almost bragging about being a terrorist at that point. So look, I agree with him on that. To be fair to Tucker on the issue of Iran specifically, he's been going after a bunch of Republicans lately. Lindsey Graham came out, and I think maybe John Cornyn, one of the Texas Republicans maybe, they were calling for all-out war with Iran when one of our U.S. bases got attacked by a Shia militia. It wasn't Iran proper that attacked us, but they were like, war with Iran now, yes. To be fair, he came out there and called these people like fucking lunatics or some shit like that. Good. I hope he sticks with that. But also, if he's sincere, which I don't think he is, but if he is sincere, he should also be relentlessly going after Trump. Because I don't see it. I don't see the idea that he's anti-war. I think when he gets back in there. I'm buckling up because it can get really, really fucking ugly. As bad as Biden has been on the issue of Israel, if Trump continues what he did in his first term into his next, he'll be even worse on Israel. Trump took $100 million from Sheldon Adelson on 2 separate occasions. And you know what he did? He moved the embassy to Jerusalem, which inflamed tensions, pissed off the Palestinians. He also did the Abraham Accords, which was a massive middle finger to the Palestinians. And that's when, Hamas was like, all right, we're doing the October 7th attack. You guys want to pretend like we don't exist? You want to work around us? You want us to suffer in silence? Fuck off. We're going to put our pain front and center. We're going to do the October 7th attack. So his policy decisions, certainly in part, led to October 7th. And so, I think he would, same way that Biden's given Netanyahu a green light, I think he'd give him a greener light. But anyway, as this person says here, Republican infighting is always joyous to watch. Yes, it is. And I'm looking forward to Ben's response, right? Because instead of hitting Tucker in the proper way, which is like, yeah, I'm a hawk, and the guy you support, Trump, is also a hawk. But why is it okay for him to be a hawk, but not okay for me to be a hawk? Instead of saying that, which would be a fair response, he's going to do, I'm not a hawk at all. And it's like, cue, a compilation of every article he's written on foreign policy and everything he said recently, which indicates he wants war with Iran and et cetera. I mean, that argument is not going to land. The I'm not a hawk argument is not going to land, Betty boy. You are a massive hawk, and everybody knows it.
Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.